and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be transforming an ordinary oversized t-shirt like this into something a bit more fitted and bodycon. Now for this DIY you're not going to need to sew anything. All you need is a pair of scissors, a few safety pins and your two hands. So hopefully it's going to be easy for you guys to follow along, but let's get to it. So the first step of this DIY is with the safety pins. So you want to mark out roughly where you want the waist to sit. So I want it to kind of be oversized at the top and kind of have like a bat wing effect. And then I want it to cinch in at my waist. So you want to find the two seams of the t-shirt. So just find out where the seams are because you want it to be equal on both sides. Now this is the most fiddly bit. So you have to kind of like wiggle your hands in, kind of like an equal amount until you get roughly where you want it to be. So you can kind of see I've made like a tighter fit top within the t-shirt and I've got all this excess material here. So just let go of one side and on one side just put your safety pin in. So you can mark it with like chalk or something like that if you would prefer, but I just think a little safety pin should do the trick. The other option is finding a dress you like and laying it on top of the t-shirt. So just like that on one side. So you can see all I've done is I've just marked roughly where I want my waist to be and the seam of the t-shirt is in the middle. Now I'm just going to find my waist on this side and pop in the safety pin. Just like that. So it's currently looking something like this, which obviously isn't how we're going to leave it. That's just for the guidance side of this tutorial. So now what you want to do is take the dress off and we're going to do the rest on the floor. Now you want to lay out your t-shirt like this, and if your safety pins went through to the other side and it's kind of bunching up, all I did was I just removed the other side of the t-shirt because everything we're going to do to one side will cut through to the other, so it doesn't matter about that. So just have them as a guidance on the front of your t-shirt. But if you struggled with the safety pins, there's another way of getting them in. So find yourself just a nice stretchy bodycon dress, because that's basically what we're going to be making out of this t-shirt, and lay it on your t-shirt, and what you should find is the rough waist of this dress should sit exactly where the two safety pins are. So you can see my safety pins are here and the waist of the dress kind of sits on top of them there. So that's another way you can do it. You can just lay out a dress and have that as your guidance. So that's roughly the type of look we want from this t-shirt, but remove that, that's just to give you the points of the waist. What you want to do now is cut the seams of the t-shirt up to kind of where you want it to be tight. So if you want this top part of the t-shirt to stay loose, which is what I want to do, then you want to cut up to kind of maybe about an inch below the armpit, and then it's perfect. Otherwise, if you want to do a whole new design on the top, you can, of course. So I'm literally just going to cut up the seams now. So apologies about the angle here. I'm just trying to get it as clear for you guys as possible. But it's this seam here. So I'm literally just going to cut it open.
I think I sing it again, she had no second trunk, that's like what? I think I sing it again, she had no second trunk, that's like what? I think I sing it again, she had no second.
You should be left with something like this now, where they are completely separate because you've cut up the sides there. So now you want to try and get them as flat as possible. So really make sure your t-shirt is laid out nice and flat because you're going to be cutting through both sides now. You want to cut roughly from where you started, little strips, but you want to go through both layers of the t-shirt. And these strips you want to go until your safety pin roughly. So you can kind of do the hourglass shape if you want, or you can do it all the same and it will kind of give that corseting effect for you guys. So however thick you want them, I'm doing mine about 2 centimeters in diameter, but it doesn't matter hugely. It will just give a different effect. Now you want to replicate this on the other side and try and keep the exact same number of ties here.
I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, all night long. I think I sing it again. She had no second drop.
You should be left with something like this, so you should have equal numbers of these slits on both sides. It kind of reminds me of the gills on a shark right now, but the next part you just want to kind of pull on these and they should just roll up a little bit. So you don't need to do it too harshly, just to kind of tidy them up a little bit. So just pull them just like this and just do that on all of them.
All night long. I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, all night long. Let me see that.
So now that you've kind of pulled all of those out a little bit, you should have something like this. Now you can remove your safety pins now. They were literally just there for guidance. But I find it really useful to just know where your waist is, because then you can just make things that little bit more tailored to you. So I'm just going to put those to one side. So the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to take the two at the top and tie them in a knot. You can do, I would say do double knots on them just to make sure it's nice and tight, like that. And you're going to do that on the other side as well. Just make sure you're getting the same one, so you're not muddling them up. And again, just do a nice double knot. Now you can do this when it's on you if you want to have like a tailored fit to your body, but because it's a stretchy t-shirt, I think you can do it off your body as well. So now you want to kind of put those two to one side and get the next two, and you're gonna tie them, but maybe not as tight, like just a nice double knot, but not taking up too much of the fabric, otherwise it might be too small for you. So you just want to do that all the way down, just kind of nicely tying them together, just so your dress isn't going to be gaping on the sides. So just like this.
I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, I think I sing it again, 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 sing it again. Let me see that. No second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, all night long. I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, baby, when you what, I think I sing it again. She had no second drop. I was like, what, all night long. Let me see that.
Voila, the finished product. So this has even shocked me. Like, I had this concept in my head and I was like, is it gonna work? But oh my, it really, really works. You do need to make sure you have a long enough t-shirt. Like, it does take up a little bit of the length. So obviously you saw the before of the t-shirt, it was probably an inch or two longer than what it actually has kind of shrunk to. But look how nice these sides actually look. So the knots kind of look like little bows, and it's almost like a corset down the side of the t-shirt. I'm actually really, really happy with how this looks, because I wasn't sure if I would like the frilliness, but I think because it kind of makes this all nice and tight, it's kind of fun. It's definitely a crazy outfit, but in terms of what it looked like as an oversized t-shirt, I much prefer it like this. And if you trust your knots, or maybe you put a little bit of glue on them, you could just cut these off and have it kind of as a little like pinch top. So if you guys like this DIY, I can show you how you can make this look a little bit different if you're not a fan of the frills. But you can also incorporate like thicker bands where you need to wear your underwear, because I didn't quite think about the underwear side of things. Just wearing nude underwear, you get away with it, and I think the frills hide anything underneath. But it's just something to, you know, think about. Like, having now done this DIY, now I'm like, ah, yes, that makes sense. But I'm really happy with this. I literally just thought of the idea and thought, that would cinch in some of my oversized t-shirts really well, I think. And it really has. Like, I really recommend trying this. And it's so comfortable because the top of it is still really just like comfy and loose, and then it's like, whoop, cinched in at the waist, and I mean, it's definitely a flattering look. Like, it's just a nice bodycon dress now. So if you get the right t-shirt, this could totally be a going out outfit. Like, imagine it was just like heels, you know, a little handbag. It's just kind of like casual but sexy. I love how this has turned out. So sorry that I was doing this DIY on my floor. I know that's probably not the most useful place for me to do it, so I'll try and move on to a table if you guys enjoyed this. But I really hope you could follow along, because this has turned out fabulous. I'm over the moon with this. But thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll link my social media down below if you'd like to follow me on there. But thank you again for watching. I hope you're all doing well, and hopefully I'll see you next week.